So, my name is Gautam Rege, and I'm a local and I'm from Pune, and I am a misfit. All of you all are probably way better experienced, empowered than me. So I said, I might as well talk to you all about all the perils that you are potentially going to face. But this is not a Gyan session. This is simple stories of my life. And luckily for me, I am not the one with the least hair. So in my entrepreneurial journey, and started in 2007, my company's name is Josh. I started with exactly the way you should never start up. The one thing that Pradeep did mention, scratch your itch, that was me. I have to start up on my own. So I started. I started without a plan. I was married. My wife was not earning. I, like every good IT engineer, I had a home loan, I had a car loan, and I pushed the limit. I even had a credit card loan. I had no insurance, and I was a developer. I was a C developer. Only knew how to code. I did not know the difference between debit and credit. I did not know the difference between sales and marketing. In fact, the funny part was the first time we actually had a customer by mistake, and they asked me to send the invoice, and I was like, invoice? So I sent the invoice, and he said, "Bhai, tax nahi lagaya." Tax? So I did not know, at that time there was no GST, there was sales tax and service tax and VAT. मैंने तीनों लगाया. कस्टमर भी मेरा भाई बोला भाई 50-50 टैक्स पेड करते हैं. That's how, I mean, this is 2007. 2007 was a time where just before 2008, which didn't impact me at all, which was excellent for me. So somebody's loss is somebody's gain. In 2007, I had finished about 7 years of working. And my maximum experience was in this company called Veritas, which used to be Veritas, then got acquired by Symantec, then got split out again as Veritas, now has become Arcterra. For whatever reasons, Veritas was amazing. I quit on a whim because somebody challenged me that you cannot start up. But why am I telling you all this? And this is only because, just like this book, it is critical for you all to understand all the mistakes that I've made. And these are not mistakes everyone makes. So this is a very personal story of mine about how we got going and all the mistakes that I've made. It's very easy to talk about success, but the mistakes that you keep making are sometimes funny, sometimes shocking, sometimes hair-raising, but you won't see that happen here. People always, this is common knowledge, right? You need money, you need education, you need connects and contacts to start a business. I had none. I had nothing with me. So the only thing that I had was that I know I can code. I know that I can deliver. And everyone has that passion that this is something that I can do 24/7, and I will do it again and again. And I know that I will always make my customer happy. That's why I call the company Josh. Now, this slide is actually irrelevant because you have already taken the plunge. But you've really not started up till you get started up. And you may plan as much as you want, but ultimately there are only a few reasons why you will really start up. Crazily enough, this slide is not prepared just now, it's been prepared a few years ago, and some of these things were just discussed in Ajay's talk as well as in Pradeep's talk. I'm sorry, I attended only those two. That was fun. There was also one thing that Ajay mentioned about co-founders. Having a lot of co-founders, more than 4, in my personal opinion, I'm extremely biased. Having more than 4 co-founders creates a problem, sometime or the other, which is why Ajay probably put out that slide saying know how to mitigate a future risk. I was lucky, I had a co-founder, his name is Setu. He can be in this room and speak 3 words because he's a listener. I'm a talker. I get the work, He is to get it done. But as a founder, you have to do everything at all times. Even right now, 24/7, I'm selling. I'm always into sales. I will be selling if I'm sitting in a bus, in a plane, in a train. I'll be talking to the person next door. Subconsciously, I will be selling. I think it's part of founder ecosystem. This slide is only because there's only one thing that is going to keep you going through all this. Family. A lot, I don't know, is there anyone who has gone against your close family and started up? It's tough. And there will be people like, yeah, you have 6-digit salary, why are you quitting? You go through a whole lot of, I don't have a better word for this, but you go through a whole lot of shit. A whole lot of people will ostracize you, people will criticize you, but your family support makes that journey easier. The other question that always plagues everyone is a product or a service. Have you all been asked this question, or have you asked this question to yourself?
Yeah.
It's complete bullshit. Service is a product, and a product cannot exist without the service. There are very, very few products which just survive on their own. But you cannot have that product without any kind of service that is getting it better or enhancing it. Understanding what the customers really want is going to enhance your product. And service for me is a product itself. Because how can you have to sell service also? You have to talk about the benefits. You have to spin a story. You have to talk about how it's going to help others, how it's going to make a difference. So products and service, the only difference I realized was investment in time, sales, strategy, not money. For services company, you jump into it, figure out what is to be done. First 6 months of my life in Josh, I was doing anything and everything, right from changing the database, data type from ISO to Latin for whatever godforsaken reason, doing any kind of stuff. After 6 months, I realized, why am I doing this? I got frustrated after the first 6 months of my career. I was like, this is just nonsense. If I have to continue just doing or getting my hands on anything just to survive, why am I doing it? Might as well go back to a job. So we decided we need to focus. And that is the key part of any kind of business. Focus. Now, we chose to be a services company. In 2007, we were one of the first companies in India to just work on Ruby on Rails, along with Smita. There she is. So that's how we met. I mean, more than 10-15 years ago, because there are very few companies in India which is working Ruby on Rails. I do not expect you all to even know what it is. If you all know, that's great. But it was a risk that we took, saying let's only focus on that. So I was a C programmer. Setu, my co-founder, was a Java programmer, and we refused to take on work in C or Java because we wanted to focus only on Ruby. First 3 years of business was a living nightmare. And I put it out very blatantly. The first 1,000 days of business is what determines whether you are going to make it big or not. And when I say make it big, it means whether you're going to live or not. Okay, like Ajay also said, fame, success is part 2. Survival matters. But if you are able to survive your first 1,000 days of business, you're there. My lowest point, September 2010. September 2010, we had a team of 8 engineers. We had 232 rupees in our bank account. Salaries to pay. And September is just during Ganpati and then after that Diwali. And I was like, I don't know, what am I going to do? So we did the next best thing. Went to the bank and took an unsecured loan. I don't know why they gave us the unsecured loan. I have no idea. But maybe it was some person who had put in a good word for us. Or so I thought. When I actually had to sign the document, I saw that the interest rate the bank has charged me is a whopping 24%. Whereas typically a bank would charge at about 13-14% at that time. And I was like, hey, I was going to sign this, right? I'm like, hey, this is supposed to be 14, not 24. He picks up the piece of paper, looks at it. Ah, yes. Yes, Mr. Rege. It's a mistake, it's a typo from our side. I'll get it corrected. will you survive till then? The look in that person's eyes was like he knew it. And I was like, I see it. I'm signing this. Here's the document. Thank you very much. But I don't want to see your face again. And this is the last time I deal with this bank. I'm not taking the name. Shit happens. And you will find this happening at all times in your life. It's not about what happens. It's about getting out of there. You will be let down by everything. You will be let down by your customers. You will be let down by your team. We had a customer who promised to pay, didn't pay. And I'm like, dude, I counted on you. Sorry man, I've gone bankrupt. US customer, I got bankrupt. I've declared bankruptcy. Like, okay, dude, help me out. For you. And he's calling me from his mansion, from the swimming pool. So I'm like, dude, what? I mean, come on. I'm a small company. You're sitting there, like, yeah, you can keep the source code. Like, what do I do with source code? Take a printout and use it as toilet paper? There's nothing I can do with it. So your customers will let you down, your team will let you down. Among the techies in the audience, my developer, Ganesh Chaturthi is always very interesting for me. The eve on Ganesh Chaturthi, when everyone has gone home, our man decides to clean up the production database. Intent अच्छा था, but he deleted the production instance. So I said, okay, fine, किया है तो ठीक है, but immediately he called me immediately and restore it. अरे मैंने backup पहले clean किया. So now we are without a backup. I had intentionally done it. There's no malice, but I appreciated him for coming out and telling me the truth. We have 7 days in office after that, restoring everything from the logs. Customer came and called me and like, dude, I don't know what you are thinking, what kind of a company you are. I had to go through all the rigmarole. We restored sanity. Customer said, Gautam, I'm very proud of your team. Excellent job done. But I'm filing a lawsuit. Okay, what's the lawsuit about? What are standard damages that he had for loss of customer, loss of money and all that stuff? And 80% was reputation loss. And I spoke to my lawyer. The lawyer said, the customer is from UK. So there are two things you can do. Abscond. Simplest approach, just abscond. Just go incommunicado with him, but you can never go to Britain again, because if he files a case there, the moment you land there, they will arrest you. For me, I started my company with very, very core ethical values. To say that you trust people, you build your ethics, integrity stuff, so how can I do this? So I told the customer, you know what, I buy your argument, I will bear the cost of your 80% of reputation loss, because that's all my company lives off. And then he tells me, okay, Gautam, I am His Majesty's service. He was a commander in the British Navy. And he says, if you understand the value of reputation, I'm okay. I'm not going to file a suit, but you give me in return. Pay me back in kind. We did like about 6 months of free work for them, which is completely acceptable for us, for a software company. But he then gave us a reference, which got me back 15-fold the amount of business that I would have done had I just absconded on them. So it works. It's all about the ability to respond. And when you're choosing your customers, don't go after the low-hanging fruit. Even today, after 17 years of George, I don't fear, I do not hesitate to fire customers. I would rather work with fewer customers, but good customers who treat us as partners, who treat us with that respect that we deserve. And I have terminated a customer because one of his employees told one of my developers in a Jira story, you are a vendor, just do as you're told. I have taken that screenshot, highlighted this and said this termination notice. And the customer, I'm sorry, the owner said, I apologize on behalf of my employee. Can you please reconsider? No. Gautam, we'll revise rates, but I need this done. No. I cannot work with a customer who doesn't care about me. So if you choose your customers wisely, you will enjoy the time that you're going through. And you will always come across a customer who is a total There you go. But you need one customer like this. You always need one customer who's completely unreasonable. Unreasonable demand. I want the best talent for free. But these kind of customers at least give you the perspective who is a good customer. Right? You want such mistakes to happen early on. Building a team. You don't have to have only co-founders. And as Ajay has rightly mentioned, the responsibility that is of division of responsibility between people are critical. The team is critical. If you invest in the right team, it works. Also remember, sorry about all the investors, I said I'm very biased. Do not give out equity if you can help it. Equity is precious. If you can avoid it, it will pay dividends in the long run. Process is critical. And ensure that you always party strong, because at one particular time in your life, right, don't start up so that you finish early. And if you have one of the last things that I would rather say is, if everything is going right in your business, there's something wrong. This happened with me in 2015. Life was amazing. I had nothing better to do because business was just coming in. Business was good. People were paying. And I started realizing this is the time that you have to diversify. So I diversified. And I failed 3 times. And it's great learnings. And it's from this kind of learning that you realize that as an entrepreneur, the one thing that you can never do is sit still. Today, coding is my passion. I still code. I have got myself as a developer on a project with a customer. The customer, I know the founder of that company, and I'm saying, you know what, I'll code. So I'm reporting to a project manager, who reports to an engineering manager, who reports to the CTO, who reports to me. And I report back. So as long as you are enjoying this journey, you will get it made. And there are quite a few of scary stories that I can actually share with you about how to choose the wrong people and then suffer later on. I'm around here for a bit. I was given 20 minutes and I will not consume a little more time, but I will end with only this one statement. As entrepreneurs, the first 3 years of your life as an entrepreneur journey, you will live like nobody else will want to. And then for the rest of your life, you'll live like nobody else can. Thank you.
Thank you, Gautam. I'll take a minute of yours. I would like to request Oakley sir, TiE Pune charter member, to felicitate Gautam.
Thank you, Gautam. Very strong, insightful, and yet entertaining stories. So, that's the right word.